this episode of Stay Mindful with Dr. Evelyn Davis, we'll explore the holiday blues, that time of year when what's meant to be filled with joy and celebration can sometimes feel a little heavier because of stress, loss, or the pressure to make everything perfect. Together, we'll look at who may be most affected, what causes these feelings, how they differ from seasonal mood changes, and some mindful ways to bring light and peace back into the holidays. Hello and welcome to Stay Mindful with Dr. Evelyn Davis. With the holidays quickly approaching, I wanted to touch on something that many people experience but might not notice due to the hustle and bustle of the holiday season. When I think about the holidays, I think about spending time with family, sharing turkey dinners, attending Christmas productions at church, and remembering that Jesus is truly the reason for the season. It's like that song says, it's the most wonderful time of the year for many people. But for some, it's a season that is filled with reminders of who's missing, financial worries, or the pressure to make everything look picture perfect. Making what was supposed to be holiday bliss turn into the holiday blues. But do not fret. You don't have to let the holiday blues take over. You can protect your peace, find support, and even create new traditions that bring joy back into your season. But I know you may be wondering, Dr. Davis, how can I avoid the holiday blues this season? So glad that you asked. But first, I want to take a mindful look at what the holiday blues is, what it feels like, and why it happens, and also who it can affect. Then we'll take the time to explore how you can care for your emotional well-being and bring mindfulness into this busy holiday season. You may be thinking that the only people affected by the holiday blues are those who are already dealing with mental health challenges. But let me start off by saying that the holiday blues can affect anyone, not just those already managing mental health challenges, but anyone. In fact, even the people who usually enjoy the holidays can experience moments of sadness, stress, or emotional exhaustion. And sometimes, those who seem the most cheerful on the outside are actually the best at masking what they're really feeling inside. According to research from the National Alliance on Mental Health, or NAMI, about 64% of people living with a mental health condition report that their symptoms worsen around the holiday season. A time that is supposed to be filled with joy, love, laughter, giving back, can still bring new challenges and emotional strain. So what triggers these feelings? Often it's not just one thing, it's a mix of them. Things like unrealistic expectations of the perfect holiday, overcommitment and exhaustion, changes in sleep or daily routine, financial pressures, loneliness, loss, and of course, the over-commercialization and social pressures that can make us feel like we're not measuring up. What's interesting about that last one, though, even though it can look different from everyone, it can feel the same deep down. Whether it's comparing family traditions across generations, keeping up with social media highlights, or managing financial stress in different seasons of life, that same weight of expectation can affect us all. Even joyous traditions can sometimes carry a layer of stress or sadness, especially when we're missing someone, managing changes, or simply just stretched way too thin. So now that we've scratched the surface to explain what the holiday blues is, let's take a moment to see what it looks like. Because if you're like I was years ago when I first learned about it, you might be wondering, how do we know if it's just the holiday blues or if it's something deeper? And that's a really important question. Because while holiday stress usually fades, sometimes those heavy feelings linger a little longer. And when that happens, it could be a sign of something deeper, something that needs a little bit more care and attention, something like seasonal affective disorder or SAD. The holiday blues and seasonal affective disorder can actually look real similar at first, but they're actually quite different in duration and then also intensity. Symptoms related to the holiday blues tend to appear around November or December and usually fade once the season passes. They're often temporary, brought on by stress, loss, or exhaustion, and the symptoms are typically mild. Common signs of the holiday blues can include things like feeling sad, low, or irritable, being more fatigued, having low energy, changes in sleep or appetite, trouble focusing or enjoying things that you might normally do, withdrawing from social activities, or feeling disconnected, even when surrounded by people. If these feelings continue long after the holidays or grow stronger, it may be more than just the blues. It could be seasonal affective disorder or SAD. SAD is a form of depression, and it is connected to seasonal changes and also decreased sunlight. It usually begins in late fall, lasts through the winter months, and eases with the return of spring and longer days. Unlike the holiday blues, SAD often requires additional support or treatment because of its longer duration and deeper impact on mood. And here's what that can look like. The symptoms related to SAD include feeling listless or down most of the day, losing interest in activities that you used to enjoy, oversleeping or changes in sleep patterns, craving carbohydrates and overeating, gaining weight or feeling sluggish, having difficulty concentrating, feelings of hopelessness or guilt, and in severe cases, there are thoughts of self-harm and not wanting to live. The symptoms of SAD can also change from fall and winter when you have winter depression, but you can also experience SAD in summer. So what it looks like in fall and winter is oversleeping, increased appetite, weight gain, low energy, and motivation. But in the spring, what it looks like is having trouble sleeping, loss of appetite or weight loss, agitation, anxiety, and irritability. It's also worth noting that other mood disorders, such as bipolar disorder, can also be affected by seasonal changes. This is not to be confused with when you have normal off days, because everyone has an off day. But if your low mood lasts for weeks, if you lose interest in things that you enjoy, or if you're struggling to get motivated, please reach out for help. Talk with your healthcare provider, or even if you have thoughts of hopelessness, call or text 988 to connect with trained counselors at the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Remember that you are not alone and help is always available. Now that we've familiarized ourselves with holiday blues and SAD, it's time to talk about what you can do about it to help you protect your peace, find balance, and bring light back into the season to support your emotional well-being throughout the holidays. First, let's start with a big one: expectations. Letting go of the idea that everything has to be perfect. That means parents, let your kids help out with the tree decorations. It doesn't need to look like a Hallmark card. Choose meaningful over magical. Heartfelt moments are far more important and memorable than a perfectly staged one. Next, give yourself permission to feel what is real. Honor those feelings. You don't have to force joy. It's okay to feel sadness, gratitude, or even both at once. When you name your emotions instead of avoiding them, you can give them space to move through you with less resistance. Another important piece is staying connected. Don't isolate yourself. Reach out to others, even if it's just a text, a call, or sharing a meal. Attend gatherings, volunteer, or simply just be around people who bring warmth to your life. Connection reminds you that you belong and that you're not alone in how you feel. And if you're missing someone this year, find gentle ways to honor them by creating meaningful memories. You can light a candle, cook their favorite meal, or share a story that keeps their spirit alive. This allows you to turn grief into gratitude, which transforms pain into remembrance and keeps love present in your heart. Next, you want to protect your routine and self-care as much as possible. Try to maintain your regular routines, keep consistent sleep, eat nourishing foods, and move your body gently. Avoid overindulgence in alcohol or sugar. Those can intensify low moods. And most importantly, make time for stillness, whether it's prayer, journaling, or quiet reflection. Which brings me to leaning into your faith. When things get heavy, you can lean into your faith. You can take a few mindful moments to remember the true reason for the season. It can be through prayer, worship, or simple gratitude. Faith can ground you in peace whenever things feel uncertain. And then there's a big one for many of us, and that is simplify and setting boundaries. Remembering that no is a complete sentence and that it's okay to say it. You don't always have to attend every event or please everyone. Choose quality over quantity. Simplifying your schedule can create the breathing room that you need to truly rest and reconnect with joy. And finally, seek professional help when needed. Remember that it's always okay to ask for help. If your mood stays low beyond the holidays and starts to interfere with daily life, reach out to a mental health professional. Asking for help is not a weakness. It's actually very wise and a mindful act of self-care. And if you ever find yourself in crisis, call or text 988 or visit 988lifeline.org to chat with trained counselor. Remember that you are not alone and help is always available. As we close, I want to take a moment to reflect. I hope that the information in this episode has been helpful and offers you the support and encouragement you need during this holiday season. If you're missing someone this year, remember that it's okay, and that creating small moments of remembrance helps their love stay alive in your heart. If you're feeling overwhelmed, take time to pause. Ask yourself, what do I really need this season? It's probably not that perfect dinner or decorations, but it could be rest, laughter, or quiet time with someone you care about and who cares about you. And if you find yourself feeling lonely, take the first brave step towards connection. Sometimes reaching out helps you heal, and you never know who it may heal to. Mindfulness doesn't always make the season perfect, but it can help you notice the grace within the imperfections. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until next time, take care of your mind, nurture your spirit, and stay mindful. Thank you so much for joining me today on Stay Mindful with Dr. Evelyn Davis. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to subscribe, share, and leave a review. You can find this podcast and past episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Be sure to follow so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you found this episode helpful for you, please share it with a friend.